Ladies and gents, you beautiful people, I hope you all are having an amazing, beautiful day as always. And guys, I am extremely excited to share with you guys the first episode of the Crucible Experience Podcast. And the first guest we had on the podcast was Castleislive, an amazing guy, an amazing content creator. Make sure to check out his YouTube channel, which of course will be in the description. And guys, do make sure to show the channel some love because the quality on it is very, very high and this man really does deserve it. We had an overall great time on the podcast. That said, we did have some technical issues and we did lose some footage, but overall I feel like it was an amazing experience. We talked about some very important topics, and if you guys want to skip to specific ones, you can find the timestamps on the video itself and of course in the description. For the future of these series, the plan is to upload a new episode every Monday, of course depending on how quick I can reach out to some other content creators. I truly believe that there's just so much we can discuss on this podcast and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And do make sure to let me know your thoughts on the first episode in the comment section. Is there anything you guys want me to change? What do you like about it? What can we make better? And so on. I can't wait to see your feedback. Anyway, we got some more beautiful content coming to the channel, so if you guys are enjoying the videos, and only if you are, a like and a sub truly does help me out a lot and is very, very appreciated. And I do hope to see you guys hop into the streams every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday around reset time here on YouTube. I am literally blessed with the most positive and chill community out there, so hop in. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna be piercing some skulls with some beautiful void arrows. We're gonna be going flawless, doing some crucible challenges, and overall we'll just have an amazing time together. Okay, now I'm just gonna leave you guys with the first episode. Enjoy. Today we're launching the Crucible Experience Podcast. We have our first beautiful guest on the channel, and that is Castleislive. Welcome, my man. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, sounds good. So first of all, again, like you said, my name is Castle. My YouTube channel is Castleislive. But more importantly, thanks for having me. This is pretty cool to be, the first episode ever, and the fact that you found my content, you enjoyed it, you reached out to me, and we were able to schedule it was pretty neat. So again, happy to be here, and thanks for having me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love your content. Honestly, it's high quality, very interesting to listen to. Some of the most awesome builds and guides I've seen. So yeah, it's my pleasure to have you here, and it's great to talk about some of the most interesting topics we have right now. And let's go ahead and not waste time, jump right into it, right? And let's talk about one of the first topics I want to discuss with you. How broken do you truly feel Stasis is at the moment? And what would you do in order to tone it down and make it feel like on par with the other ones?
Right. So I think it's definitely overpowered. But I think, the vague answer would be, it's good and it's bad. So I think that the community tends to want to be wowed a lot. And so Bungie, they're just a bunch of people working at home trying to make this new expansion, and they want everyone to be completely wowed when this stuff comes out. But the problem is sometimes we're hard to satisfy, and so they end up having this thing called power creep, and they create something that is so, again, has such a wow factor to it that we're all like stoked, this is amazing, blah blah blah, this is new. But then all of a sudden we sink our teeth into it and we find ways to make our builds, and we find ways to take advantage of this. And we have clearly highlighted the issues with Stasis. So to answer the question directly, is it broken? I wouldn't call it broken. Is it overpowered right now? Yes. How could they fix it? They need to nerf it, but I also think they need to bring the light subclasses up a bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not very fun to just bring this brand new thing out and then just completely nerf it to the ground. So I think that they need to make a lot of tweaks to tone it down, but they also need to look at the light subclasses, especially the ones that weren't even being used. Like,
yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of light subclasses that weren't even on par with the other light subclasses before Beyond Light. So they got to bring those up first. Then they got to bring all of those up a little bit more while they bring Stasis down a bit, so they can actually find a balance rather than just bring Stasis all the way down. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely powerful though. It's not as bad without the fragments. A lot of scrims say no fragments, and I know that scrims can be very restrictive, but part of their reasoning is to try and tone stuff down. So it needs to be reworked for sure though.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like It is one of the, well, not one of the, it is the strongest right now in the game. Like no other subclass in the game, right? Gives you so many abilities to one-shot people, like with Lemonarch, Arbalist body shots, heavy-hitting sniper body shots. None of them do that, and you can do that so easily, man. It's actually crazy. There's a bug, you know, the dome grenade on the crystal grenade. Even if it's your teammate's grenade, it gives you the head run buff. You run around, get one-shot picks at the beginning of every match. It's absolutely crazy. And the supers, man, some of the supers are like not even, you can't compare them to the light supers. And
yeah, I'm a behemoth main, and I should not be in my super for 10 minutes.
No, that super is so amazing right now. It's absolutely crazy. And in general, if we take any MMO, in like we're talking true MMOs here, like let's say Aeon Online or Guild Wars or whatever, World of Warcraft, any class that has a stun ability that takes a player completely out of the game for 4 to 5 seconds, or what is it, 3 to 4 seconds, something like that, is very powerful. And people tend to use that because it's just an easy pick. And, you know, you take out people out very, very easily. You freeze them, get them out of there, and you're on your way. So I feel like it definitely needs to be toned down, and it's something that has to happen. I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but they're slowly adjusting it, right? Shadow Dive is getting nerfed this week, right? This next reset, I believe, which has to happen. And I'm a Hunter main. I never used it because I was like, that's horrible. I can't do it. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, they were both the problem. It's Shadow Dive and it's Fissures. You know, there's a lot of people saying it's Fissures only or it's Shadow Dive only. It's not. It's both. The Titan slide, for example. I'm probably biased because I am a Titan, but you know, at least we have to run up to the thing and slide through it. It's still busted with Fissures. Don't like.
Yeah, it is.
Nerfing Fissures will indirectly nerf Titans, much like it will nerf Hunters. But, anyways, yeah, I mean, it's broken. It needs to be dealt with. And it's funny. The Warlock melee was dealt with so fast, and everyone was pretty pumped about it. And I think that developers, they have to be careful they don't make knee-jerk decisions based on community reactions, because again, like, you know, random example, but if you look at Fortnite, a lot of things in Fortnite only became a problem once people got extremely good with it.
Yes.
Or vice versa, people realized good ways to counter something that they thought was strong once they got the hang of it. So you do need, I think, to let the game breathe a little bit before you go and you knee-jerk nerf something. However, that melee was a good example of a quick reaction. And I think the problem is then they went on Christmas break and, you know,
or a lot more would be done.
Any further nerfs.
Yeah, it was the holiday season, and a lot more could have been done, of course, but they have families. They're just normal people like us. So, you know, they need to take time off, of course. And yeah, I agree. I feel like the Warlock melee is in a great spot. It's still very strong. My friend runs it all the time, and dude, he runs double melees, and it can be crazy. He freezes someone, kills him, and then just running around two-tapping people with 120s. Let's go ahead and talk about what do you think about PvP in general, Castle. What would you think that would get you up excited in the morning, and you'd be like, hey, I want to jump in. I want to play competitive, you know? For example, that mode specifically, I want to jump in. I want to do comp. I want to do PvP. What do you think it is missing to get you like really excited about the game mode right now? I'm talking about competitive.
So I think I'd say probably 3 things, maybe 4. Number 1, people aren't going to like this answer, but when you play one game for an extremely long time, sometimes you can get burnt out and you can get tired of it. So I feel like we've been playing Destiny for so long that it's harder to get the community to be hooked on it now as it was maybe 4 years ago, because they've been playing the same game for that long. However, that being said, people can still play games for thousands and thousands of hours and still be hooked. So setting that aside, I think number 1, what makes me addicted to a game is improvement. I'm addicted to improvement. Yeah. Enable me to enable a skill gap so that I can continue to see my own improvement, like actually tangibly see some improvement, and I'll be hooked to that game. Fortnite is a perfect example where I took a long break from Destiny and I became unbelievably hooked to Fortnite, more than I've ever been hooked to a game in the last 10 years. And the reason was because the skill gap was so high that I was able to learn how to make very, very quick, specific edits, build battles, and all this stuff. And I didn't care about so many things in the game. I just wanted to improve. That was it. That was enough for me to be hooked. Destiny struggles with that a bit, I think, because it isn't dedicated solely on the gameplay. It is a looter shooter. There is PvE and PvP. So all of their time and resources can't be put towards only PvP. It can't be put towards only PvE.
Yeah.
The problem is when someone might start to improve, a new thing comes in and like Shadow Dive. And it's like, I was just getting better. And now I'm up against hunters who can just demolish me with ease, and very...
It's very
lots
strong.
Of room for error too, right? Like you can shadow dive next to the ice wall, like pretty far, and
yeah.
Blow it up and kill your opponent. And so that opponent now might have been like, damn it, like it's they're losing interest in.
Yeah, some people just wait for the grenades, Castle. They don't even push. They try it.
Yeah.
They back risk out of it. They go ahead, wait for a minute or whatever the cooldown is for the grenade, and then they push. So yeah, that shows you a lot.
And that's why, like, for me personally, why I got so addicted. The only time I've been extremely addicted to Destiny is when I played scrims only. And I truly believe it was toning down all the ability spam allowed the gunplay to shine, which allowed my improvement to be highlighted, which allowed me to get addicted to playing. Back in the Halo 3 days when I was younger, I was hooked, right? I wanted to reach level 50 in every single... That was like my goal. I need to be a level 50 in every playlist. And I'm not doing anything with my life until I make it. I was a little too addicted, obviously, but that was enough to get me hooked. It was the improvement and the ranking system. That's all I needed. And then number 3 would be rewards. Like people have said this a lot. It's at the end of the day, it's a looter shooter. And that's what it is. So make it rain loot. Quit holding back on the loot. It's so funny when you have the double reward Nightfalls, people love it.
Yeah,
people
everybody does it. Everybody. When I talk with my friends, I just say that I feel like Bungie has like a fear of giving out loot. I don't know what it is, but it feels like they're afraid to give out like really hardcore top tier loot to people. And when you mentioned the Nightfalls, I agree 100%. It's an amazing thing. It's funny that it all began with a bug that should have not been there in the first place, and after that they were like, oh look, people are actually playing our game more than normal. It really made it way more fun. And as you said, if they do something like that with the competitive mode, that would be absolutely beautiful, Castle, because there would be a reason for you and me and for a bunch of people, thousands and thousands of people, to jump in and play comp. Because right now, why is it even there? Like, there's no reason for you and me or anyone pretty much to jump in and try out competitive. There's no rewards. Everything that was there has been moved to the kiosk, and you can just buy it now. And it just doesn't make any sense not having a pinnacle reward for a competitive playlist. It's called a competitive, so there has to be something there for you and me to grind for. Unfortunately, that is not the case, but I hope that in the near future that will change, which kind of brings us to the next point. You mentioned scrims there, which we also do, and as I mentioned, when we're just having fun and messing around, we're like, let's not do supers and heavy ammo at all. Let's just have fun with gunplay, and we mess around with that, and just everybody's freezing each other, and it's a mess, but it's fun, and that's what we focus on. But a lot of people have been sending me a lot of messages, through the comments and in general, that they feel like that so-called sweaty community, the people that are mainly probably on PC, they tend to play with one setup. For example, you see amazing players such as Panda and Frostball and just crazy players use specific guns that are very, very powerful, and nobody can blame them for that. But it also feels like some people that don't use that get called toxic. So for example, if somebody runs a Bastion, hey, the other guy's like smashing his keyboard and typing, hey, you're toxic, get out, terrible things. And what are your thoughts on that whole toxic thing going on in the community when it comes to using those, weird weapons, so to say?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, to call it out bluntly, it's stupid. If someone kills me with a Bastion, shame on me if I'm gonna go and teabag them after, when I kill them after that kind of thing. That's just, it's childish and it's pathetic. But I also, it's okay to be angry. It's just from a casual perspective, let's say you have a casual player who goes up against someone who only uses, and I hear it all the time, like hand can, like sometimes I get comments in my videos like, oh, hand cannon shotgun, another hand cannon shotgunner, and you know what? That's how I like the game. So let me use my hand cannon and shotgun. Like don't be upset with me for only using that. But on the flip side, I'm not gonna get mad at you if you use a Bastion or an Arbalist. Like I might get internally frustrated because I get super annoyed when I die to a Bastion. But I'm not going to bash somebody, or like bash them or get toxic at them for using it. I'll just have to find a way to play differently around them so that I can beat them anyways with the guns that I like to use. And then I might turn around and go to Bungie and say, that gun really sucks and here are my reasons. And it's up to them to listen to my feedback and do something. The problem is, Lord of Wolves is a perfect example of like people trying to be vocal with Bungie saying like, for the love of God, please nerf this thing. And it took them like an eternity, right?
Yeah.
So I'm never going to get mad at someone for using something provided to them in a video game. Like we're all sitting in front of a screen. We've purchased it's a free to play, whatever, but we're playing a game that provided a gun to use. Use it. Don't feel bad. And if someone like shits on you for using it, screw them. They clearly have their own issues that they need to deal with.
100%.
So,
I feel like that's way more toxic than somebody using a Bastion, right? I get a lot of messages when I use Le Monarque. Like, you have no idea. Right. Oh, you're using the boa. It's like crazy ass messages, man. Something I have to delete sometimes right away because it's just very childish, it doesn't affect me. I don't get mad, but I can imagine people that are way more emotional and sensitive, they get hurt with this. And I don't feel like that's kind of fair to those people. If somebody wants to use a Bastion, adapt to the playstyle, try to beat them differently, keep your range, snipe them out, do whatever you want, but just don't kind of spread the negative energy and toxicity. I don't think that's the right thing to do, and I don't think that's good for the community in general. And I'm happy we agree on that because, it's one of the things that needs to change, and it hopefully does. And then
I actually, just before we move on, I will highlight one more thing. It's because of how strong something is and how much they dislike that. And a lot of people think that shotguns are the strongest thing in the world. But I guarantee you, if you were to give the best players in the world, again, I already mentioned like Panda, for example, Sonic, all them. If you give them an Arbalist or give them a Bastion,
it's gonna be bad.
And they main that gun for a year, 2 years, 3 years.
No. Yeah,
you'll realize how insanely strong a gun is, and then you getting killed by them would be upset about dying to a Bastion all of a sudden.
I agree.
Just as much as you are dying to a shotgun. So I think that's why some of those toxic feelings exist. It's just unfortunate that, like you said, like don't vocalize it against someone. Like it's a game, So if you kill me with a bow, okay, I can be upset, but I'm not mad at you. I should not take it out on you. So
yeah.
Oh, well.
Which would bring us to the next point, since we mentioned Bastion and Arbalist. What do you think about special ammo, Castle? Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's in a perfect spot? Because a lot of people are complaining about it. I would love to hear your thoughts, and then I will let you know mine.
Yeah, so I think it's in an okay spot right now. I probably sound like a broken record, but and I'm not gonna say I'm like one of the best players in the world. I'm not at all. But a lot of tournament winning teams and players that are extremely good, they main a primary. It might not seem like that, but they aren't actually maining their shotgun, for example. They are primary first all the time, and they're using their shotgun, again, for example, as a reactionary gun to kill someone who slides around the corner and catches them off guard, or doesn't catch them off guard, makes a dumb play. Whatever the case is, that's how they're using it. So for that reason, and having played in competitive environments like that, I actually think special ammo's okay. It's when you start to have things like double scavenger mods and things like that it can get out of control. And that's why some of those rules exist, restricting these things, because of how much things can get out of control. I mentioned pump action earlier and remote connection, I think, about how, those super mods can make special ammo or special weapons way too strong because they used to get you your super faster.
Very fast.
Now those are gone, which is a great call from Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
But why Why were those so strong? Well, A, they were just too strong at the base, but because you could run 2 of them, you could stack remote connection with your sniper. Boom, all of a sudden, something that may not have been a problem is amplified and turned into a problem. So
very big problem, yeah.
That's the never-ending issue and struggle, I should say. The never-ending struggle that Destiny has is that anytime something is okay on its own at the base, we find a way to make it a problem.
Yeah, we break
with
it.
Seasonal mods, with doubling, stacking mods, which now they have diminishing returns, but still, right? It's the same concept. So I actually think that it's okay.
Do you also think that right now, as you were going over these topics, we're mainly talking about the top tier players, right? That know when to use this ammo,
right?
Know when to make the most of this ammo, all the special ammo that they have. But what if we talk about the majority of the players, let's say the 90% even of people that play in sixes, right, or normal comp or trials, where you see people run around with special ammo and pretty much get like 20, 25 shotgun kills, right? What about
True.
that case, right? Because that's a lot of the complaint that I hear. It's like I'm playing sixes and all I get killed by is a shotgun, or all I get killed. Like if you think about it, if you have a strong shotgunner in a game in sixes, he can just run around like a madman, especially with Stasis sliding, all the crazy melee movement, right?
True.
And just get tons of special ammo, and that could potentially become an issue, right? What do you think?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like, I wonder if that would be the case if they removed scavenger mods altogether, right? Like, because then you're not getting so much ammo from killing people. So yeah, I definitely see what you mean. And we can't be short-sighted. We have to remember that the community that plays Destiny, yeah, I mean, the bottom 99% are not the top 1%, and therefore 99% of the people playing the game experience it in a slightly different way.
Yeah, because
in some cases a drastically different way.
Even if you give Frostbolt or Panda, let's say 1 bullet, they're gonna make it like 10 bullets, right? They're gonna probably get a collateral of 7 people in 1 shot or something crazy like that, because those people can do it. But when we're talking about the majority, it could become an issue, and I see where the complaints are coming from, because like once you get killed 10 times in a row with an Arbalest in sixes or Bastion, as we mentioned, people do get upset. And especially with Arbalest, right, that weapon definitely needs to tone down, by the way, man. It's
right, especially on we allow the Arbalest, but only 1 if
makes sense.
In our Discord community scrims, it's maximum 1, and it's if you have an Arbalest, you can't have another sniper on the team. Like it's only 1 precision weapon. If
there's nothing you can do. It's so, if somebody's good with Arbalest Castle, that's the end of the game. You're done. So what do you think about trials at the moment, Castle, and what do you think would bring the game the excitement that we had in Destiny 1? Because I loved it. I'm pretty sure you did too. I'm pretty sure you were excited, as I was, every Friday to jump in, hop in, and just have a great chill time. And right now, it's an issue, man. It's not the same. That's just my humble opinion, and I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think number 1, and people might get flack for this, but they brought back, we get upset when they reskin guns. And what did they do? They reskinned an old game mode. They brought back an old game mode. So it, like, right out the gate, it can't be as exciting, because it's not brand new. Like when Trials first came to us in D1, it was a totally new thing, and new things are exciting, and so people got hooked. And bringing it back to D2, it can't have the same effect. I don't care what anyone says. It can come close for sure, but I don't believe it could have the same effect. I truly believe if they came back with a totally different game mode that we've never seen before, and I'm not going to pretend like I know that what it is or what it could be or have an answer, but if they did do that, I think that it would have had a much higher success rate or chance of succeeding.
Makes complete sense.
Which I think, not enough people talk about that. But since we're talking about trials specifically, so forgetting about that or putting that aside, I think that player population is probably the biggest issue. Skill creep, like we talked about power creep earlier, skill creep is a big thing. Like if you don't make it rain loot, people aren't going to come back, and typically losing is less fun than winning, right?
Yes.
Naturally,
yes.
Fun to win a game. It's not super fun to lose a game. And so the people who are losing more, unfortunately, are going to likely be the less skilled players, and they're going to stop playing. And then keep going. You fast forward 3 weeks. Now you've got the people who were medium skill level. Now they're the lowest skill level. And now they're starting to lose more than the other people who are still playing. And so then eventually they stop playing. And now the people who were good at the very beginning are now the worst players in the population pool. And so now they're experiencing being the worst in the lobby, so to speak. And so skill creep, I think, just completely crushed Trials in D2. And so how do you solve that? First of all, you deal with hackers. Console and PC is super different, and Bungie is trying really hard. They just filed another lawsuit against was it Gator Cheats? I can't remember the name, but anyways, they filed another lawsuit in conjunction with Riot, and so they're trying. And I'm not going to pretend like I know it's easy. I can't write code. Like, that seems really, really hard. So how to write the perfect anti-cheat against stuff that other people get to reverse engineer, but you don't. It's gotta be hard. So I don't fault them for not being able to do something that's really, really difficult, but it doesn't take away the fact that it has to be done. The game.
Yeah, it has to be done. And I also feel like the rewards for the pinnacle rewards, like the adapt mods, like, come on now. Like we had some amazing stuff in D1 when it comes to rewards. Castle, you remember that those weapons were so worth it, man. Every minute, every second invested, you were so happy to have it. It looked a bit different. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this new shader, but it's I don't get it. But we're not gonna. I wish the shader was the only problem. I love Destiny. I'm one of the most passionate players of this game. Honestly, I love it so much, but I feel like it could be in a better place, and I feel like Bungie has the fear of giving us that hardcore loot, and adapt mods is a good example of that. Like, it's not enough. You can't give me an adapt mod that buffs this and nerfs the other thing, or just adds 3 bullets to a auto rifle. Like, come on now, right? That doesn't feel unique. That's not something that you, Castle, will get and stand in the tower and everybody be like, oh my god, nobody first of all knows that, and even if they did, because you had that shader on the weapon, it's not worth it. That's just my opinion. I feel like it has to be more rewarding, and if it was, I feel like a lot more people would play it. And as you mentioned, the amount of people playing is getting less and less, and that makes it extremely sweaty, which brings us to the point that normal players, like, I'm not a god tier player, but I get the job done when I'm in trials most of the time, and if I struggle in there for the first card, I can only imagine what the newer players getting in and trying it. They probably get destroyed, right? And I feel like that is all a pretty big issue for the game, and I would love to see that changed, fixed in the near future, and just, I hope the game goes into a good direction and in general becomes the game we all want to see and we all deserve to see. Do you think that crossplay will fix it? Because I feel it will. I think this is how it's gonna work. That if you have somebody, let's say you and me group up, you're on PC, I'm on console, right? And you and me group up, and the lobbies we go into, in that case, we'll have PC and console. But if you and me both were on console and we queued up that way, we would only get people from consoles.
Right.
I feel like that's how it's gonna work.
Fortnite did it that way.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly will help with player population.
Exactly.
That's for sure. I think people will be scared because, PC is kind of scary. Like, I was amazing at console. I shouldn't say that. I was good at console, and then when I came to PC, I was awful. It's because I was learning mouse and keyboard. But
of course,
it was
takes
also
time.
because the opponents, like, my God, they were so good on PC. So I think that some people will be scared to go up against PC, and conversely, you'll have some arrogant PC players all of a sudden going up against console, very good console players with controllers. And, then you end up with that same song and dance of, like, MNK fighting at arguing and making fun of controller, but then controller making fun of PC. I hate that, it's frustrating.
You do have people using controllers on PC anyway.
Yeah,
at the
that's
moment,
already
right?
happening. For sure.
I guess that if you don't want to go against PC players, only group up with your console friends, just queue up that way, you should be fine. And for console players, that will make your life way better anyway, Castle, because it will definitely merge PlayStation and Xbox, which is a huge increase in population, both for
Good
trials, competitive, and therefore those sweaty matches, I think like will tone down at least in the first 3 or 4 games of trials cards, for example, and that will help to fix that issue in general. So crossplay is a great addition to the game. Meanwhile, I'm stuck on my PS4, Castle. I can't get a PS5. I've been searching all over the world. I'm stuck with 30 frames per second. Man, it's a struggle.
It's hard.
It's crazy. All of my friends have PS5s. They're bullying me in the party chat. They're like, "Oh, this PS4 pleb just jumped in. Get him out. Kick him." I'm like, "Please don't," you know? So I can't wait to get it, man. I want that 120 frames per second. My monitor is ready, everything, but it's just not happening. Now, before we get to the end of the podcast, Castle, I have some questions for the community, if you have time, so we can take a look at it. Okay, let's jump into the question. Ben is asking, how do you deal with tilt? Play consistently, and how do you find it easier to calm down and not get mad while you're playing PvP, and how do you think it affects your game in general?
Okay, so there's 2 thoughts that come to mind. Number one, the people that I'm playing with. So if I'm playing with people that are very toxic or just don't vibe well with me, and I'm getting tilted by them getting tilted or something like that, obviously I'll do my best right then and there to say, hey, like, let's calm down. Like, let's just give it our best, you know, whatever. But I just don't play with them again. So I play with like-minded people. I play with positive people. And that sounds cliche, but like, seriously, when your teammates are raging and complaining about every single death, it can wear on you, and that can actually cause the tilt that you're about to get.
Yes.
And so, you know, I learned that from D1. I learned that from Halo. So I'm a lot smarter now with just making sure if I'm going to sit down and play, I want to play with people that I enjoy. And my tilt level just from that alone is so much better. Now, let's say if I'm playing alone, like managing tilt is all about trying to think of I could have done better. So if I die in the game to a certain, you know, method or whatever it is, someone outskills me, I pretty much always give respect to whoever beat me. Like
Same here.
I used to complain and rage a lot and think people were being cheesy and that like they were being dumb and that they only killed me because of, you know, busted shatter dives and fissures.
Yep.
But I finally, over a long time, came to realize like, okay, if it's out of my control, there's no sense being frustrated. I can only control what's in my control, obviously.
Yeah.
So focus on that. And that was like a game changer for tilt, was just what is in my control. Could I have done better? So in that situation where someone beats me, okay, how much was in my control of that? Could I have done it differently? And would I have had a different outcome? Mm-hmm. No? Okay. Like, so be it. Move, live, like, forget about it and move on.
Yeah.
If I could have done something differently and been better, think about it. Don't like lose sleep over it, but think about, okay, what did I do there, and how could I have done it differently? And if I think that I could have maybe prevented it, just realize that, move on. Forget about it, move on. And that seems to be, I'd say, my like 2 most effective ways of managing tilt.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the people around you make or break the game. If everybody's shouting in your ear, everybody's mad and raging, that will 100% affect your mood. You won't feel like you're not going to be having fun, and that's when it starts to get you mad. And as you said, if somebody beats you, instead of spending that energy on negativity and going all out and like bashing that person, no matter what he's using, try to adapt to it, get better. And you know, maybe you need to keep more range, maybe you need to not get that close really quick, don't rush in that fast. Just everybody has their own habits. Once you see a player doing it over, just try to adjust to it, I would say. And instead of just getting mad at somebody else, try to fix your own game, and that way you won't have to spend that energy on something that is pretty much, as you said, not in your control, and that will affect you in a pretty good way. So I feel like that was a pretty good answer there. And the next question here else? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to. I interrupted there.
I'd love to hear it.
I gotta say it because, you know, humans we've evolved from a long time ago, and we weren't supposed to be in front of a screen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, I don't believe that. And so sometimes if you feel like you're raging and you just can't get over it, man, just walk away.
Yeah.
Like if This is something I struggle with sometimes. If I'll go down this rabbit hole where if I get beat really bad and I start to get tilted, I don't want to get off until I have a good game.
Yeah.
But then it's
It
like
gets
the next
worse.
game, because I'm tilted, I play less intelligent. Well, if I'm playing less intelligent or if I'm being less clever with my gameplay, I die more often. Which means I'm doing worse, which means the tilt gets worse. So like knowing when to stop, that's actually, I wish I would have said that right away, because that's huge. Just like get up, go upstairs.
Yeah.
Make
just
some
go
food,
outside.
for God's
Yeah.
sakes.
Fresh air, make some food, whatever it is. Yeah. Just take your mind off of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that too. And the next question here. Oh, okay. We actually talked this before we started. We started the podcast. It is about the maps. So a lot of people feel like the maps, so to speak,
They
easier
dictate our loadout?
for like for those so-called sweaty loadouts, shotguns, hand cannons, they're all in the same type, very close ranged. There's always some kind of, something in between players to take cover, which makes it easier to get to each other with shotguns and so on. So do you think that is a factor in today's Destiny 2's PvP? And do you think that taking out those long-ranged maps that was in Destiny 2 that a lot of people enjoyed affects the current meta?
Yeah, I mean, so the movement is so yes. To answer the question, maps absolutely dictate what we use. I'm not going to go into the smallest map in the game with a scout rifle. If I'm always going to be within SMG range, I'm not going to try and beat an Anio with a scout rifle.
Yeah.
So yes, for sure. The maps definitely dictate it. But I also think that like it's not even just the map, it's the movement. Like they added Icarus Dash to Dawnblade, right? Well, what did that do? Holy crap. Now Dawnblade can zoom across a map so much faster than it ever could before. And so movement in Destiny is the number one skill gap in my opinion. And
I agree.
It's very fast. And so now the problem comes with you end up giving these subclasses these movement abilities, or just in general, people, again, they get better at a game. It's like Fortnite. I think I mentioned Fortnite earlier, how after a long time, people started to be able to do, cranking 90s really easy. That's because they got used to it. So early on, the maps probably feel okay because people aren't amazing and they're not used to the movement. Once people become an expert at something, well, suddenly, like the whole meta has evolved because movement, like there's so much more and better movement now. So you have to be able to adapt to that as a developer. And that's what they haven't done. They have the same map from day one versus, day 1000.
Yep.
But the people playing the map have changed over those 1,000 days. Well, yeah, the maps are going to play differently. Like for sure. Slow down the movement big time. You actually might see longer range weapons in some of the smaller maps. You might, but if I can get to you, if I can get to within range so quick, probably going to stick with my hand cannon. So yeah, they're not wrong. Maps definitely need to evolve with, or as the community also evolves their skill. And the struggle though is I'm sure they have analytics on this stuff, and I would hope that when they remove those maps, it's because no one played them. Like you said, a lot of people love them, and I'm sure a lot of people did love them, but I sure hope they're not getting rid of maps that have lots of large playtime within their analytics. That's where a voting system would be pretty nice. Yep.
We talked about that voting system, and I truly feel like if you could vote for a map, that would be amazing. If somebody wants to master a sniper, they would vote for a longer range map, which there are not many in the game currently, but still to have that option would be a great thing for the game. And there's just so many little things like that would take Destiny to that next level, because you and me both know the game, when it comes to gunplay, is amazing. There's nothing out there. And even though a lot of people say the game is dead, it's not dead, man. The gunplay in this game, nothing comes close. That's just how it is. And that's why people are coming back, because there's still a lot of issues with the game, but people are still playing it. And that's the main reason why the gunplay is on a different level from other looter shooters. And I feel like that was a great question. And in my opinion too, I feel like if they add some new maps that are kind of completely different. Do you remember that map in Destiny 1 Castle where you could actually get into tanks and stuff? It was a big map. I don't remember what the name.
That's right. There was like turrets too, right?
Yeah. There was some crazy stuff. One was on the moon,
yeah.
and one was on EDZ. I think not EDZ back then. There was an EDZ, but there was the other one.
No. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
though, and you're right. Like as long as we can have a mixture of long and short range maps, as long as you're getting the variety. Like nobody wants to play only small maps. Nobody wants to play only long range maps. Just give us a variety and make them good. And that's such an easy statement. Like it's so much easier said than done to say make a good map. Like well, obviously Bungie didn't create maps and say, hey, let's make these maps crappy, guys. That would be great.
Yeah.
They don't, they're not doing that on purpose. They're trying their best, and we just need them to learn. We need to learn from their mistakes, I find, and because we haven't had new maps in a long time. So they really need to shift some of their employee resources towards that, I think. And hopefully, I'd be fine. Even though I'm a hand cannon shotgun, abuser, so to speak, I'd be fine with some more long range maps as long as we can keep the variety there with, including short range maps.
Yeah, and I also feel like the problem is because the maps are so small, I should say, probably because you see those crazy broken spawns, Castle, in sixes. Like you're spawning and literally two people.
Video on it.
Exactly, right? Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So that has to be coming from the map issue. It's not just because they can't. The game is looking for places to spawn people, and it just can't find anyone because it's so populated and the respawns are so quick. So it's messed up. Now, if the maps were obviously bigger, I don't think that would be such a big issue. And that also brings us back to the thing that's probably one of the reasons that Destiny started Destiny 2 with 4v4s. They probably saw that coming, and then from people, we asked for the 6v6s, they put it back in, and it is what it is at the moment. The spawns are pretty crazy. Like for example, the Dead Cliffs, you can literally lock people on A, and that's it. They're gonna keep spawning there. It's crazy, but it is what it is at the moment. Hopefully, as mentioned, it does get better. Another question from the community. They're asking, why did you decide to become an YouTuber? What pushed you towards it?
I guess I should point out the elephant, actually, that I'm doing this on top of a full-time job. So I actually work about 50 hours a week at a your typical day job or whatever. And this is totally on top of that. And why did I do it? Well, it's so funny. I was hooked. I loved video games my whole life growing up. And then years ago, there was a podcast by Joe Rogan.
Oh my God. Okay.
With someone, God, why can't I remember? I'm blanking. C9 nothing. And it was all about Twitch. This was like 2013 or 14. I can't remember what year it was. Anyways, long story short, I heard that and I'm like, what? There's people out there like watching people and chatting, instead of Netflix, but a video game like Twitch, like wow. So, I was like, that brought me way back. Like already all the emotions from how much I loved playing video games growing up all came racing back, and I tried streaming for quite a while. And then eventually, I kind of put that down and I was sort of done with streaming, but, I just realized how much I loved teaching people. Like there was one thing I loved so much about streaming or while I was live, and it was helping people understand something or show them something live and how to do something. And I get that at work too. I just really enjoy teaching a topic to somebody. And so a lot of my viewers, when they kind of heard that I was going to take a break from streaming, kind of convinced me to, well, dude, try and make a YouTube video, like just see how it goes. So I thought, all right, like I don't know how to video edit, I don't know how to do any of this, but I'll give it a shot. And wow, I'm loving it. So that's
amazing.
That's kind of what got me into like I'll call it the content creation industry, I guess, originally, but ultimately it kind of came back to just me enjoying teaching things. And
you do a great job at it. When I'm watching your videos, as I was telling you, it's very simple. You explain in a very simple but very informative way for a new returning or for an existing player right now. It's top quality, man, and you're great at it. And it's amazing to see how your channel exploded, right, in a really small time frame. And that's great. Like the growth has been really, really good, and I'm really happy for you because you deserve it. The quality, as mentioned, is outstanding. I love it.
Thank you, man. I'm very, very lucky. That's for sure. I remember since day one of starting, I was like, just put out the most highest quality, hardest working video you could ever do. And that was it. It was like, don't focus on the numbers. Just every video I'm going to just pour my heart and soul into and try and make it better. Now I go back and watch and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my videos. Exactly. I go back, I was like, oh my God, this is an amazing video. I need to put it out right now. You put it out and you're looking at it now and like, holy shit, what have I done? Like people actually saw this and they clicked like. Wow, thank you guys. Like you're very kind, you know. But that was pretty much the same for me. Like I was also working. Right now, I'm trying to do this full time. I was working normal job in a I don't know how to explain it in English. Phone service company. It's like mobile company, and I was working there. But dude, it was so hard for me. Like I wasn't loving what I was doing, and it was kind of pulling me down. I've never been depressed, like, you know, like I always try to stay very positive even when it's like pretty hard sometimes, but that was really bringing me down, Castle. And I was like, you know, I can't do this, right? And thankfully I had the ability to put some money to the side and focus on, you know, and doing something, trying something I love. And when you mentioned Joe Rogan, that all started for me too, from a Joe Rogan podcast. He actually was talking about, that's why I had that reaction. He was actually talking about how we get caught up in doing something that we don't love, and it slowly starts destroying us, and we don't even understand because we're just stuck in the routine. And I was like, dude, I gotta try it. And I've been also blessed with an amazing community, man, like super positive people. And even though we haven't hit 100,000 or 1 million subscribers for me, and I'm pretty sure for you too, that 10,000 or 13,000 or how much we have right now is our 1 million, right? Because it's a lot of hard work, and you got to appreciate all the people that you literally don't know showing so much support and love to the content you make. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And
I'll never forget one of my, I had like 400 subscribers, and I made a video about Dim. And I go back and watch now and I cringe because I'm like, oh, it wasn't that good. But anyways, someone loved it, and they loved it so much that they wrote a Reddit post about it, and then that kind of blew up. And like, why do I say that? I say that because of the fact that you said, like, the only reason we're seeing some success, or we can cross a milestone as special as 10K, is because of the people who constantly come out and give us feedback and watch our videos and tell us in the comments, you know, what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, or what they liked about the video. And then on top of that, we've got people who are literally willing to just share it with other friends and like send the links out. Like to the people watching, that is everything. And I think, you know, you make that well known with your audience, as do I with mine. I can't make videos if I don't have an audience who are viewing my videos. I can't do this forever. And so it is 100% all thanks to everyone watching. So it means a lot. It is like the community is what makes all of this a reality. And you know how it is. It is literally a dream for many people that, especially that like video games, to call yourself a content creator or a streamer. Like somebody asks, hey, what do you do? And you can say, I have a YouTube channel. I'm a content creator. I'm a streamer. Dude, that's cool, right? That's what many of us dream about. And don't get me wrong, you know how much hard work goes into it. And dude, you just said you have another full-time job. That is crazy. Much respect that you do both of these things together and still manage to keep the quality of the channel as high as it is. Castle, much respect. Truly, that is an amazing job that you do. And it's crazy how people support us, people that we don't know, and show so much love. Like when I streamed for the first time, I started streaming 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw the highlight videos that I put out when I got a few donations. I almost passed out. Like, I'm not even messing. Dude, I was like, this is happening. Like, people enjoy the content. You know, they're loving it. They love the positive energy on the stream, and they're trying to show their support. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's truly, content creation is an emerging industry. Obviously, you know, 2020 highlighted that big time, and it's hopefully only going to go up. Yep. Well, Castle, been a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed the talk. Thank you so much for having me. Me too. Thank you for being here. I think we covered most of the very interesting topics. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, my man, and I wish you and your family all the very best. Thank you so much. And yeah, cheers to you and your family and everyone
Appreciate
who is
it.
watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.